So we'll start with the topic of inflation. So first we have discussed the basic part that included circular flow, national income. Then the second module, growth and development. Third one is your planning. Now we are moving towards inflation. So now we will see that the debate of growth versus inflation from the second side, that is from inflation's perspective. First of all, we'll write something, we'll discuss something, basic terms of inflation. So first of all, what is inflation? So what? Second, factors. Third one, types. Fourth one, solution. Then we discuss monetary policy committee. So this is how we will proceed in this topic. So first one is, what is inflation? If I will say that in this year India experienced a rise in the prices of onion, can I refer this event as an inflation? Rise in the price of onion only. What do you think? If we experience a rise in the prices of only pulses, will I be able to call it inflation? Why? Then what is inflation? Simple. In a layman language, what is it? Price rise. But price rise only in one commodity? No. So write the definition. Inflation refers to persistent rise in the general average price level. In other words, inflation is a situation where too much money, TOO, where too much money, what? Chasing too few goods. Full stop. That's it. So the first part of this definition is the actual definition, and the second part is just for the understanding purpose. You can also write second part is also, in other words, is also correct. I'm not saying it is wrong, but the first part, there are few keywords. What are those? Persistent. So you should underline the word persistent. Then general and average. So if I will experience a sudden rise in the price level, will I be able to call inflation? Sudden rise in the price level. What's the meaning of persistent rise in the price level? For a long period, at least a year. We are measuring inflation on a monthly basis also. But here we cannot see the data of monthly on a very serious note. Like yesterday I told you that India experienced inflation of 1.78% in June 2017. So that was an abnormal situation, not a normal situation. So we will not take seriously those data. If we are experiencing low inflation for 2-3 months regularly, then we can call this is persistent decrease, persistent increase. Okay. So are we clear about the word persistent? There is another term also called secular. Here doesn't mean secular of that preamble word. Here secular in economics means long term. Secular trend. You will find the word in economic survey. Secular trend of inflation. So if you want to write, you can write. Persistent का synonym है. Next is general price level. What do you understand by the word general price level? It means not belong to any one commodity. I cannot say general rise in the price level of onion. No. The word is general. Means there must be a basket of commodity. I'll explain what is basket of commodity. In methodology, we'll discuss WPI and CPI. But basket of commodities. So in one commodity, if we experience hike in the prices, we cannot say that there is inflation. Talking about average. Average means for few agricultural commodity, you can experience sudden hike in the prices, then again sudden fall. Then again hike, it means there will be lot of fluctuations in the prices of that particular commodity. Most of the examples come from agriculture sector because it is very difficult to match the demand and supply of agriculture sector. We'll discuss agriculture extensively. Very, very important topic for your mains examination as well as your preliminary as well as your interview. Very important topic, agriculture sector. I'll devote around 10 hours, it means 4 classes. Getting my point? So agriculture will discuss, but a lot of fluctuation happening in primary products. What are primary products? Mainly agriculture commodity. So we have to measure the average prices. Some day onion prices are 70, other day 20, then 80, then 30. So average somewhere lies between 50 to 60. So general, not of only one commodity, average is average of a certain time period. Getting my point? Now what are the factors affecting this inflation? So first of all, we are clear that it is not a sudden increase in the price. Now it means there must be some factors that are constantly contributing to the hike in the price level. There are two types of factors we can say. Those affecting the rate of inflation in economy. So first one you write demand pull inflation. Do not write like this, just write in a paragraph. Demand pull inflation. Cost push inflation relates to supply side factors. So in bracket you can write supply, just for the sake of understanding. So here the demand is itself evident. So in demand side factors, what are those factors which are affecting inflation from demand side of the product? Like for example, just understand here, if I have 100 units of a particular commodity X, if I'll say that money supply is 10,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees. If I will increase this money supply from 10,000 to 20,000, what will you experience here? Inflation, because the supply remains same. What are those factors behind this kind of inflation? Demand side factors. Getting my point? In the next example, same scenario. If I decrease the money supply by half, let's leave it. If I decrease the number of units from 100 units to 50 units, your money supply remains same. This is the contribution of cost push inflation. From the cost side, the inflation occurred in the economy. So you write here, first one is government expenditure. First one is hike in government expenditure. Second one is increase in income. Third one is reduction in direct taxes. I'll explain one by one everything. Fourth one is prevalence of black money. Prevalence of black money. Fifth one you write deficit financing. Deficit financing. So we'll discuss from number one, that is government expenditure. If government increases its expenditure in the economy, it means it will create more demand. How? If government is building one project, it will invest huge amount of capital that will provide employment. If you provide employment, you are giving more money. It means there will be hike in the wages and salaries. People get money. If they will get money, their purchasing power will go up. So they will demand more good. Example is simple. If we compare the lifestyle of 2008 and 2018, we will see only one rise, that is rise of middle class. That is the problem of congestion. Everyone is going to the market, going to the workplace by a car and not adopting pooling activity. In America, there are separate pooling lanes. If you are driving alone and you cross that lane and you are driving in pooling lane, then there is a fine of $10,000. So even there is a traffic congestion of 7 hours, 10 hours. No one takes chance because there are cameras. Not an individual policeman is standing and giving ticket. Ticket means challan. There's one story I was reading in Mint newspaper. In China, there was a congestion for 12 hours. There was no divider in between. You can go and overtake from the wrong side. आने वाला कोई नहीं था. There was not a single car that is coming from front or the other side. There was an accident. Congestion was around 11 hours. Can you guess the amount of punishment? Capital punishment. Violating traffic rules. What happened? People were waiting. No one is going. So harsh rules. So this was just the example. What's the problem here? Increase in the purchasing power. So you will experience the rise in the standard of living. So you will demand more good. And economy will experience demand pull inflation. Because production remains the same. Due to increase in the consumption of non-vegetarian food, we are able to sustain at 273 million tons of total food grain production. Otherwise, it is very difficult to survive only on food grains. We have a lot of milk products also. So just to diversify. So if government will invest in the economy, it is far better than any other private investment. Because private investment will be in a part of the economy, in a small section of the sector. But government expenditure has a ripple effect. Okay? Clear? Second one, I don't think so it needs any explanation. Increase in income. Simply, for example, if you are earning 5 lakh rupees per annum and suppose you have switched your job, now you are getting 10 lakh rupees per annum. So obviously your standard of living will go up. Now you will demand more luxury. Whenever you will demand more luxury, there will be inflation in the economy. Like for example, luxury is air conditioning, not fan. Fan is a necessity. So it means you are taking benefits of AC, consumption of electricity will go up. Whenever there is consumption of electricity will go up, you will demand more electricity. If you demand more electricity, what will happen? What? Hike in prices per unit. So if government is not able to produce that amount of electricity, like 2 years back in Delhi, when China was shutting down its old thermal power plant, last old thermal power plant in Beijing, Delhi had to start the oldest thermal power plant in order to meet the demand in Delhi. बात ऐसी है ना, लगता है AC क्यों है? If we are able to pay, switch on करके रखेंगे, कोई problem थोड़ा नहीं. It's not about payment ना. You can pay, I'm not saying. But if there's need, if there's no need, why you are switching on AC? Because in electricity, you cannot store electricity. If demand is increasing, you have to produce it. We have grid just to regulate the supply of electricity, but we cannot store electricity. That's the biggest problem. So 2 years back, Delhi had to start its oldest thermal power station. And Delhi is struggling with the problem of pollution every winter. Getting my point? So increase in income will lead to increase in the standard of living. Again, the context is same. Third one is reduction in the direct taxes. Suppose, for example, we are taking simple example. I am earning rupees 10,000 per month. Getting my point? I am paying 10% income tax. It means I am paying 1,000 rupees. If I will reduce direct tax from 10% to 5%, it means every month I will get extra 500 rupees to spend. Now that depends on an individual. Either he will spend or save, but he will or she will get 500 rupees extra to spend in the economy. So again, there is a rise in purchasing power. Again the same thing, you will demand more good, and the problem of demand pull inflation. Now fourth one is black money, because government has no count of this black money. So if black money increases, RBI thinks that money supply remains the same according to RBI. But in actual, money supply has increased due to the prevalence of black money in the economy. So if you experience a lot of black money in the economy, there will be a surge in the demand because people are getting more income again. These all are interconnected points. What was the last point? Increase deficit financing. So whenever deficit financing is there or is experienced by RBI, although it was not allowed after 1997. We'll discuss that. Ways and means in advance. We have initiated the policy in 1997. So now it is very difficult for government to finance its deficit by printing new currency. So after 1997, it is very hard for government of India or any other state government to get loan, that is without repaying it to RBI. It is quite impossible nowadays. So if you are borrowing from RBI to finance your deficit, you have to pay some kind of interest rate. That too a nominal one. Right, last point. Increase in the foreign exchange reserves. Increase in the foreign exchange reserves. So are we clear about the word deficit financing? How it will lead to demand pull inflation? Because money supply will go up, people will get more money in their hand, then they will demand more goods. Next one is for increase in the foreign exchange. Like for example, you are having your foreign exchange reserves around 414 billion US dollar. Suppose in the next few months foreign exchange reserves will go up by 450. So 450 US dollar. It means there's an increase about 40 billion US dollar. That 40 billion US dollar RBI is receiving, RBI has to give equivalent amount of rupee to the foreign investor. Why? Because whenever you will invest in India, you need rupee, not dollar. So the demand for rupee will go up. If RBI does not have that currency, then RBI has to print that currency just to give a rupee against dollar. Getting my point? And the money supply will go up in the domestic economy because they will demand rupee and spend in the Indian economy. Getting my point? Shall I dictate some explanatory notes? No? Is it enough? Coming on to the other side, first one is cost of production, hike in the cost of production. Second one is hoarding and speculation. Third one is supply shock. Fourth one is natural calamities. First one is the most important. Cost of production. If you experience hike in the cost of production of factor and non-factor inputs. What are factor inputs? Now you know very well. What are non-factor inputs? Like raw materials. Factor inputs like land, labor and capital. So if there is increase in the rent, increase in the wages, increase in the interest rate, that on the back you are borrowing for your production process. So you will experience inflation in the economy. So cost of production will go up. It means the price of labor, that is wages. So what happened in China in 2015? We have discussed Chinese slowdown. You remember? 2 classes back, Chinese slowdown. We have written for that how India recovered from the problem of stagflation. There was one important factor, that was Chinese slowdown. Why China experienced slowdown? Because of increase in the wages. If you will experience increase in the wages, you have to increase prices of goods. And whenever you will increase prices of goods, it will erode your competitiveness in the market. Getting my point? कल मैं से मार्केट में घूम रहा था, तो मैं जितना भी शॉप देखा सब जगह रेट बराबर है बुक शॉप में. 40 यहाँ है तो 40 वहाँ, सब जगह 40 रुपीज़ है ना. वो कोई भी एक मैगजीन है, कॉमन रेट जो मैंने देखा दैट इज 40 rupees. Now if suppose I will open my new shop in Rajendra Nagar and I will sell that same magazine of rupees 45. Will I able to find any customer? Why? Because increase in the prices will erode my competitiveness. So I have to absorb that 5 rupees in every product. Getting my point? Suppose the increase in the labor prices increase the rent of all the shops. See, I think enough example. You have understood? Second one is hoarding and speculation. Hoarding and speculation. What do you understand by the word hoarding? Anyone? Accumulation of goods. Suppose I'm producing agriculture products like wheat, tons of wheats. Just because right now there's a lot of supply in the market, lot of supply of wheat in the market, I'm not getting the right price of my produce. What will I do? I will store it in my godown and I will create artificial supply shortage so that prices will go up and then I will sell my produce. Getting my point? Whenever you will experience hike in the agriculture commodity like onion in 2013 and pulses in 2016, what will happen? People started hoarding these important commodities. So that is why government started its drive to counter these hoarders. Actually, it is illegal. It is illegal in India and in most of the countries because you are creating artificial scarcity of particular good. Speculation. What's the meaning of speculation? Predicting the future prices. There is a concept called derivative trading. We'll discuss briefly in capital market. I have one class of capital market. Not very important for our examination purpose. UPSC never focuses on capital market. But we'll discuss in one class how derivatives functions. Derivatives means trading in a future market. I'll explain the concept of derivative at that time, but just for the time being, you can simply say, suppose I have 10 kilos of wheat and I'm trading on the back of these 10 kilos and I'm predicting that, suppose this is August, I'm trading for December. In August, suppose I'm saying that the price of wheat is rupees 10 per kg. And I'm predicting that this price will go down in December to rupees 8. What will I do? I will try to sell my produce right now at 10 rupees per kg. But what happened if I'll not be able to find any buyer? Then what will I do? I'll engage in a future trading with someone in a future market. There's a market, commodity market. So I'll go to the market and will say that if you are engaging with me at this rupees 10 rupees per kg in August, I will give you the same produce in December. Now who will buy? If the prediction is prices will about to fall, then no one will buy. Because this is a Kharif season. In December, we will sow the new season or new crop of wheat. But suppose some individual is thinking that this price will go up. Now I will find my buyer because he thinks that prices will go up. So it's better to buy now. What I'm thinking? Prices will go down. It is better to sell now. So we'll engage in a trading agreement, derivatives trading. So my wheat will remain in the go down. We are not using that wheat, but actually we are making money. So the loss here is of that produce. Sometimes ऐसा होता है कि 5 years तक there will be no trading, actual trading. There is a trading between two traders. Wheat is lying in the godown and destroyed. So government also restricts some kind of speculations. What? That comes under the category of bullion, gold, silver, diamond. I've given the example of commodity trade. APMC में prices quote करते हैं. But that's different. Derivative trading is a concept of future trading and spot trading. If I am trading right now, I'll be trading in a spot market. You will quote the price right now. I'll give you my produce right now. Commodity exchange. ठीक है. So hoarding and speculation is the major factor in cost push inflation. Third one is supply shock. Do you have any example of supply shock? Any idea? Is suppose due to the different policies of government of India regarding biasness in other crops in comparison to wheat and rice. So we are continuously announcing MSP for 4 or 5 crops, but fundamentally government is actually responsible to announce MSP for 23 crops plus sugar cane. But in actual practice, what government is doing, announcing for 4 or 5 crops. What happened with pulses in 2016? Supply shortage. Why? Because government increased MSP for other crops. So farmer shifted its production from pulses to other crops. So suddenly what happened? There was a supply shock in the economy. We have experienced shortage of pulses in whole country. So we'll see the solution, what are the solutions to counter these things. But supply shock means due to government policy, we are experiencing supply shock in agriculture market. Like we are giving cheap credit to MSME industries, those who are producing handmade goods. What will happen? People will switch from normal industry to MSME just in order to reap the benefits given by the government. So actually government is in a driving seat. They can mold the production process. So if the policy went wrong, what will happen? Economy will experience supply shock. Fourth one is natural calamities. Due to flood and due to drought, every year India lost a lot of food grain produce. Other than natural calamities, we have infrastructural bottlenecks also, like faulty go down storage facilities, then fault in the distribution process, fault in the transport mechanism. So we have a lot of supply shocks. Suppose you are carrying 1,000 tons of wheat, but because of rats and etc., we lost around 10% of that total produce. This is a story, every year a story. We do not have enough go down. We do not have standard go down. So grading system etc. we'll discuss in agriculture sector extensively, but this is the main problem. Fifth one is taxes, mainly indirect taxes. When you increase indirect taxes, your cost of production will go up. Simple example, if you are engaging in service-based industries, suppose you are running a hotel or restaurant. Previously you were charging 15% service tax, but after the implementation of GST, it went up by 3% to 18%. So it is very difficult for small traders, small businessmen to sustain with this increase in the cost prices. If you increase the prices, people will switch their consumption. If you are big houses, you can absorb that 3% from your profit. You will reap the benefits of this policy change. So changes in the indirect tax will cause the cost push inflation. Clear? Is there any doubt in these factors affecting inflation? Any doubt? No? Is everything clear in your mind? Hoarding part of it. Suppose for example, I am producing 100 kg of wheat, but I am experiencing that, or I know that there is enough supply in the market of wheat. So I have produced around 6 rupees per kg. This is my cost of production. This is my cost. Listen carefully everyone. This is price, or what we can say MRP, rupees 10 per kg. So I am earning 4 rupees per kg. Now the prevailing market price prevailing market price is 7 rupees per kg. So if I will say that my cost of production is 6, if I will sell now, I will earn only 1 rupee per kg. 100 kgs mein, I will get only 100 rupees. So I've decided that I will not sell right now. I will just store my 100 kg of wheat in my godown, and I'll wait for the rise in the prices. Because if I will withdraw that 100 kg of wheat from market will experience decline in the supply of wheat. So when you experience decline in the supply, obviously prices will go up. If prices will go up, suppose from 7 to 8, then to 9, then I will sell my produce gradually, not suddenly. Because if I suddenly flooded with this 100 kg of wheat in the market, again the prices will go down. So deliberately this is the strategy followed by a lot of agriculture traders. Because the market of agriculture is very, very complex. Even when I was informally talking about agriculture with Bibek Debroy, he was literally saying everything. But when I conducted interview, he changed all the words. Obviously because he is not accountable to answer all these questions. Who is accountable? Prime Minister. He is the advisor to the Prime Minister. So there is a lot of problem in agriculture, and I'm very much emotionally attached with this topic. Because the problem of agriculture is very, very complex. Even you cannot understand if 10, 15, 100 economists are sitting, it's very difficult to understand the market of agriculture because there is a time lag. If you implement this policy more than required, then what will happen? There will be a problem of excess supply. Prices will go down. Again, the problem of farmer suicide. Social factor, natural factors. There are n number of factors. Getting my point? Is it clear, right? So I'm deliberately keeping the shortage of supply in the market. There are two options. Selling it right now or selling it in future. I'll explain that thing in derivatives. But for the sake of understanding, speculation means trading with the future prices. Speculation comes from the stock market, capital market. ठीक है.